We are live. This is the market update. It's the Ethereum and XRP market update. Why is the market up? I'll tell you. Why is Ethereum leading? I'll tell you. And what does it mean? I'll tell you. Bitcoin is back. Will Bitcoin make a new high? Big question. How much catch up is there in altcoins? And if you don't know what to do, we have a starter kit in Patreon Platinum. Patreon VIP got their heads up this morning early, and we have the YouTube member area where we were picking small caps like apples off a tree. If you don't know what to do, I'm going to help you. In a nutshell, and again, you want to check out the YouTube member area. We are back. Live altcoin picks and AMA for 1/4 of what they charge extra. If you bought everything we had, still 30 or 40% below what other people charge. Anyway, let's continue with Ethereum, Solana, XRP. Okay, ready? Here's a new list. Bonk, Pepe, Doge. What do they have to do with this equation? I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to tell you right now, and you definitely want to stick around, because when you see the technical analysis and this finally sinks in on the charts, and we're going to do a little altcoin overtime, we're going to give some hints about some of the stuff we're looking at in the small and mid cap area, you know, a little sample of what our boys in Platinum and VIP as well as the YouTube member area are getting. If you like those small coins, it's YouTube. So again, we're going to give you all the news, all the charts, and all the hints you need to be successful. Because undoubtedly, the first thing you're asking yourself is, did I miss it? Is it over? Right? Am I too late? The answer is no. You're never too late. You're never too early. You're right on time. You are right on time in altcoins, especially Ethereum. So let's start with Ethereum. Ethereum is, let's see, at 33.79. That's roughly where Ethereum was before the giant debacle in 2022. So the only thing Ethereum has done in 3 years is unwind all the rampant bearishness from years and years ago, including this year where it went down to 1,400 because there was no use case for ETH. That was until Robinhood got on Arbitrum. That's a layer 2. Until PayPal started using Arbitrum. That's an ETH layer 2. Until every equities mutual fund on the planet is going to be diversifying out of NVIDIA and into Ethereum. Now, why would they do that? Simple. NVIDIA is now worth more than Amazon, Costco, and Walmart put together. So yeah, NVIDIA is the future. However, that may be somewhat priced in at the moment. Meanwhile, back at the technology ranch, what's underperformed? Ethereum. It's a network in the minds of stock market people. Oh, this is the fast network. Oh, they make 60% of their money from stablecoins. Oh, the crypto ninnies haven't bought this. It's like way below its all-time high, and Bitcoin is like stratospherically higher. Stock market people do this all the time. They sell the outperformers, they take a little profits, and they come underneath and they buy the underperformers. That would be ETH. And a little hint, XRP futures volume, not perpetuals, actual futures volume is surging. Why? Well, because hedge funds know that there's going to be an XRP ETF. When crypto week is over, assuming they get everything passed, it's going to be like the orange man standing up on like a NASCAR pedestal, waving the green flag for the whole ecosystem. Now, it was my colleague Tobie talked about this, I don't know, 2 months ago, and I didn't get it until yesterday. She says these laws, they don't moon your bags right away. It doesn't say, oh, the government's going to purchase your bag and put it in a strategic reserve. That's not how it's going to work. What it's going to be is a stamp of approval. A stamp of approval for the general public to get involved, because there's no more of this, ooh, crypto's bad stuff. They're essentially endorsing the asset class. Then after they endorse the asset class, it's going to allow compliance departments and legal departments at big banks whose job is to keep the company out of trouble with regulators. Guys like Gensler, they will come again someday. Their job is to keep the banks out of trouble. Now, how seriously do those entities take their job? So bear with me here. This is worth hearing. I used to write a 3-paragraph chart report about the S&P. Now, I could not talk about single stocks at all. It had to be just the S&P for compliance reasons or sector ETFs. But my little report had a 3-page disclaimer attached to it. And it had to be reviewed by a Goldman partner before it went out. That's how tight compliance and legal is at Wall Street. Now, I found it kind of difficult to deal with, hence my presence in crypto. But when you pass a law, you greenlight all the banks, all the hedge funds, all the mutual funds to get involved. And that's exactly what's happening. So people are like, well, how come, I'm discouraged in Solana. And then all of a sudden, Solana goes up 15 to 20%. You see what's happening in Bonk today with Bonk.fun and Bonk up 20%? Yeah. What's Bonk? Leveraged Solana. What happened the last time Bonk moved? Solana went to 200. But everyone in crypto is sleeping. They're sleeping because they're like, well, nothing's gone up and I'm discouraged. It's only been Bitcoin. And then the narrative becomes only Bitcoin. And based on the price action, people begin to tell themselves a story. What's the new story? Well, you're going to stay with the stream and I'm going to tell you. The new story is that there are so many big players that need to come through this market at the same time that once things start to go through resistance, which we'll go through later, there's just nothing but blue sky. So this crypto legislation at face value is like, man, but it really greenlights the space. And it does so for an administration that is either playing 4D chess or is in trouble over what I'm calling this law enforcement issue. Okay? They need a distraction. They need the biggest crypto rally ever. In fact, I'm going to say something crazy. Are you ready? One of the reasons why they want Powell gone is not just to lower the absolute level of interest rates, which in reality is up to the bond market. And he must know that because the Treasury Secretary knows that. They want high-powered money in the system. And who knows? That could be happening now as a deal to keep his job for Powell. Powell may have made a deal to inject high-powered money into the system right at the perfect moment for Crypto Week in order to save his job. Because allegedly, the letter is written. It's all this theater, right? Like, I've written the letter. The rumor is out. It's like, look, if he's gone, he's gone. If he's quitting, he's quitting, right? Producer prices were down. So the case for him or the next guy to lower rates is there. But really, what they really want is that high-powered money. Now, you're going to say, what's high-powered money? That's a good question, right? I know that the Federal Reserve, because they did it before Christmas in 2024, they can put a certain type of money in the system that just jacks the markets. It's like a performance-enhancing substance for capital markets. And no market is more sensitive to that than crypto. And, oh, by the way, did you hear crypto might be legal now? Oh, did you know altcoins were suppressed? Did you know that, as of yesterday's YouTube member podcast, you could still find coins that were down over the last month? So you got high-powered money in the system, compliance and legal greenlighting this for the big guys, retail coming and hit the green button, and Ethereum is up 7%. And to be completely honest, am I supposed to be impressed by that? Is that supposed to be like, ooh, that's going to scare me off? You got to be kidding me. Absolutely not. And I haven't even gotten to XRP yet. So don't, that is its own beast. Solana at 174. I mean, I remember Solana being at 174 when I was doing some stuff with AIntivirus, I don't know, 3 months ago. Solana has been between 140 and 180 for a long time. And if we're going to talk about 180 in Solana, we might as well, because I continue to believe in Solana that 180 on a monthly chart is a tactical level. So I'm going to jump into this chart, which loyal members have seen, but I actually think this could be the one chart market update. You see this dotted line? It's drawn by an automated system. You take this out definitively. You got 2 weeks left to go in the month, but maybe this time is for real. Because look at the gymnastics at this line. This goes back to March of 2024. Solana's been trying to get through 180 for what? 18 months? What happens if Solana just goes, you know what? This time we're going through. That monthly 180 level becomes a tactical point. It becomes a tactical point. And while we're doing it's actually not a one chart market update. It's a 2 chart market update. Because when you look at this XRP chart, and again, there's more XRP narrative that you want to stay tuned for. So don't go anywhere. Okay. Okay. So that's a 3 chart market update. This is XRP monthly. To keep it brief, this is the beginning of the trend with the consolidation. This little drop it and then come back on the 9 signal is perfect. And you could have 13 more up months in XRP based on this. 13 up months. It's the same thing on the daily chart, right? You get this signal, the 9. That's the end of the first part. Then you get a counter trend dip, which was yesterday. Yesterday was the dip. It was the dip in Bitcoin. We talked about this. I'm not going to give you the whole, I'm not going to gore you with the charts right now because we're going to do charts later. But you cannot possibly believe that yesterday they were selling this stuff. There's an article here about a famous Bitcoin maximalist who has sold most of his Bitcoin to pursue altcoins. Now that's okay, but I don't like it when maximalists get off the train. Like when the Ethereum Foundation, does an over-the-counter trade, when they're selling their own coin, when Cardano Foundation is buying Bitcoin, when Willy Woo is selling Bitcoin. It's a recipe for up only. And I love the guy who called me out on a thumbnail that, said up only like 4 days ago. This thing has been suppressed. So if you need to know what to do, which is totally understandable at this point, let me see if I can provide you with some assistance. This is the middle tier, the 6th Street Crypto Podcast. So with this, you get a video and you get some text showing you, hey, look, it's time to buy XRP. This is earlier this morning. And here's SKL, another hit that we have. So it's kind of like coaching. And then there's the big boy, the Platinum Group, okay, which again is separate from YouTube. Somebody said, I got to the Platinum Group and I don't know what to do. I was like, well, bro, start here. That just came out right before the show. And this is the best time to add to your altcoin positions. Not to mention long-term price predictions for Bitcoin. That's available nowhere else. So if you're looking for help, that's it. If you don't have any money, subscribe to this channel. Turn on alerts because we're going to be going live from the YouTube Shorts feed. So that's different. That's a different type of urgency on the sub button. Hit the sub button. Now, what else do you need to know? Let's talk about XRP. So what does XRP at $3 really mean? Let me give you a hint. Nothing. Right? You have Bitcoin way through its all-time high. XRP was at $3 on 2018 when it was kind of this new fast vaporware stuff. Every single rally in XRP gets sold. I don't know. I don't know who sells it. Whales. Everyone's all eager to get out. But wait, just wait. If Bitcoin breaks through 100 and rips to 110, and then Bitcoin goes to 110 and rips to 125, there's a message in this market about how crypto wants to move, right? Everyone in XRP focuses on it's going to $589. What they should be focusing on is how fast it can get to $6. Because we covered that in the Platinum report about XRP. Actually, we covered it in the regular VIP report. How fast can it get to $5? And why isn't it at $5 right now? Really? I mean, you think this can't take off with ETFs coming and the futures volume attached to the ETF, kind of pushing it up from underneath? I mean, for XRP getting a 1-week commercial, Garlinghouse in front of the Senate, the administration doing very strange things about this law enforcement issue. I am going to talk about that a little bit. But what are the positive stories out there? The American-made cryptos. I don't know if they can get favorable tax treatment, like meaning if you use XRP to buy a burger, that you don't have to pay capital gains taxes if you're using it for transactional reasons. You know, like for example, did you know Bitcoin miners get taxed both when they create a Bitcoin and when they sell it? Interesting, right? So the more they get done this week, or the more they talk about doing, the more bullish it is for the American-made cryptos. Because this political mess, because think about it, you have a fiscal mess, you have a political mess, you have more division when you wanted less, on top of your spending meltdown. And simultaneously, you've got the green light because XRP's got partnerships. The stablecoins announcements are being made, and they're huge. They're huge. This is crypto announcement week. So what stops XRP from going to $5? What stops ETH from not only going to 4,000, but just blowing through 4,000? What's 4,000? We were there in the Printathon Vaporware days back in 2021. And we were there recently off the election when everything that's happening now was nothing more than hype. Except you've got this new twist, right? Like, one, there's who's afraid of the all-time high thing that's going to definitely impact XRP, but it's eventually going to impact Solana and Ethereum. We're like nowhere near that. It's like, it's like the third inning. You haven't missed anything. You haven't missed anything, right? Like Bitcoin was the first inning, okay? Maybe some of these altcoins off the dollar drop, like the move in Ethereum from 1,400 to 3,000, maybe that was the second inning. So for anybody who doesn't follow American baseball, you have, 2/3 or more of the game to go. More than 2/3. This is over. I missed it. Bro, this is just starting. And here's the catch, people. If he replaces Powell, right? Producer prices have collapsed. Remember this whole, oh my God, the groupthink, it's tariffs, it's a recession, the stock market's going to zero. Does anybody remember that 3 months ago? No, you don't remember it because it wasn't true. And it's not true because PPI, Producer Price Index, is up 0. Now, have prices of things fell? No, they haven't. They haven't. But that allows the Fed to come in and try and help people, right? Because definitely, what's going on now is so bizarre, right? People need help. They need help, right? And one way to help people is either cut rates in a believable way, or get capital markets moving. Ethereum shorts Rekt. We had an article from yesterday where, hedge funds are doing this really cute trade where they can collect 10% for being short. Oh my God. Forget about it. Absolutely forget about it. One, when Ethereum moves, it's a total freight train. And now you got it fueled by wedge fund shorts. Ethereum forms golden cross. So you have moving average things happening with ETH. Okay. You have the 50 and 200-day moving average, which is called the golden cross, right, which is very powerful in, ready? In stonks. The golden cross gets everyone's attention in stocks because they love to buy breakouts. The death cross, not so much. Everyone gets wound up about it in the stock market rallies. But the golden cross, that's something. And remember, ETH isn't just a crypto play anymore. It isn't, because crypto people hate it. The people who like it are the BlackRocks, the State Streets, the Vanguards, the Charles Schwabs. They're going to be like, oh man, this is a no-brainer. The underperformance of Ethereum relative to just about everything. So Ethereum's up 7%. So what? I've been on here like, big faces with a big Ethereum logo, like emergency stream. Nobody's interested. Now they are, and that's good because we have research for you everywhere. I'm telling you, you don't want to get our research, no problem. Get some research. This is happening. It's happening. Okay. More XRP news, except it's not XRP. Bank of America exploring stablecoins. Everybody's going to have an announcement this week. Everybody. And if they pass the bill, they're going to have more announcements. I bet the administration is on the phone with banks going, you know what? You haven't been very nice to us, but it would be nice if you would get on the tape and say something constructive about stablecoins or the market, right? Clarity isn't perfect, but it's the bill that must pass. It is. And it is going to pass. And that's why this thing is moving. Ethereum has also changed the narrative. There's like Trustware or privacy. And every day they're trying to come out with something to like turn this thing around. Pepe could help turn it around. We were talking about Pepe, the GAN model for Patreon, spit out Pepe and Doge. Pepe and Doge. Everyone was like, okay, Bill. Okay. These guys must watch the show, Crypto Asset Allocation. It's time to promote the correct allocation. Yeah, you think so, huh? I definitely think so. And we'll talk about this, and then I'll finish this up. Strategies, convertible bond prices explode. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about asset allocation, because this is a legacy nerd thing that you want to stay tuned for, because you probably never heard about it before. Do you realize that the normal allocation to crypto or any type of alternative asset in a stock portfolio is like 1%? Oh, you got a little speculative thing there? Okay, we'll do 1%. Now, I know a guy who said a year ago, based on the AI trade, that you should have 50 stocks, 30 Bitcoin, and 20 other, which was probably AI and crypto stocks. This guy said 30% Bitcoin. Everyone said, you're out of your mind. I don't even think they said out of your mind. I don't think they even listened to him. Okay. But guess what? Now he's a genius. Now he's a genius. And now all these hedge funds, all these mutual funds, pension funds, I've been telling you, control like $60 trillion. I got to do a little perplexity on that and confirm that. Michael Saylor has issued 8 different types of preferred stock. They're legacy instruments. They act a little bit like stocks and bonds. They're like customizable. It's a little bit like Legos. You can make your Legos into a whole bunch of different things, and you can market them differently. But at the end of the day, they give you upside exposure to Bitcoin and Michael Saylor's company, which is a Bitcoin hedge fund. And guess what? Those things that he issued are mooning. So who made money? Michael Saylor got capital. He bought Bitcoin. He made money. Wall Street issued the securities. They made a ton of money on fees. And mutual funds and pension funds who can't buy Bitcoin or the Bitcoin ETF bought his paper in huge amounts, and they're making a ton of money. So how much more of that can continue exactly? Can it spread through Bitcoin? Of course. Can there be Bitcoin M&A takeovers? Could someone start buying miners? Of course. Could somebody come in and buy Ripple? Of course. I can't believe anyone's going to let that go public. I can't believe someone's just not going to go to Garlinghouse and be like, you know what, dude, we'll give you $100 billion for this. Because if Circle went to $65 billion, Circle is basically a CBDC wrapped up as a plain vanilla stablecoin. They connected it to Coinbase and they have a nice revenue model. Yeah, $65 billion. But XRP has all kinds of other stuff. Who's going to let that go? Right? And you have like Ripple making money, Bitcoin making money in legacy, and then you have the takeover battle and the absolute indiscriminate mooning that can happen in crypto equities. So you know who's going to moon crypto? TradFi. You're going to have poor optics at the sovereign level, and TradFi is going to come here with a very heavy hand. They're going to be like, well, if we've got the Bitcoin ETF, we might as well get the Ethereum ETF. Oh, they have a Solana one? Oh, that allows staking. What's staking? Oh, I don't know. Oh, it improves the appeal? Oh, okay. Boom. That's it. That's the conversation in TradFi. Oh, it's down? Oh, it hasn't gone up. Wow, it hasn't gone up like NVIDIA. Oh, cool. Oh, they're doing stable coins? Oh, yeah. And then wait till the DPIN narrative starts. By the way, not going to overdo it, but, you know, Patreon Platinum is filled with DPIN. DPIN runs on Solana. Matter of fact, when I came up with the, hey, where do I start portfolio? I was like, you know, let's ease back on the DPIN. That GAN model wants to push that like crazy. There are DPIN reports in there. DPIN runs on Solana. That has not been discussed. The whole AI trade, like they're building Skynet out there. Like Larry Ellison from Oracle is now the second richest person in the world. You ever seen a photo of Larry Ellison? You ever seen a photo of any of these guys? It's like looking at, I don't know, some sort of not nice character. I don't want to get in trouble, but it's like, who's responsible for you, Larry or you? That's a really easy answer. And again, if these characters know what they're doing, XRP and Ripple will have an announcement coming out every single day. This is tokenized real estate out of Dubai. You know, I read research from this other dude I used to work with. Do you realize that like his metric, he has a metric, really smart guy. No one's talking about DeFi. No one's talking about DeFi. I mean, there are all kinds of other topics, but no one's talking about DeFi. And, you know I'm skipping around. Does anybody remember the American-made cryptos? This is LunarCrush. The Eagle King got me into this. Stellar went up like 30% after Tobie called it. I did a short video after she called it. Figured, yeah, no one's going to pay attention to this. So I might as well do a short video. The short video now has 25. The short video has more views than I have followers, which is outrageous. It's about XRP and Stellar. That's how I knew XRP was going up. Because if she said Stellar was going up, then XRP is definitely going up. Stellar's up like 25%, and everyone's still standing around looking at XRP like it can't happen. Oh, yeah, people, it can happen. This can get really stupid because one of the reasons is you have gradually and then suddenly. The only thing you've had suddenly in is Stellar and Bonk. And even Bonk was gradually, then suddenly. Doge. How long do you think it's going to take before Elon does some kind of protest trade through crypto? Arrow up 14% today. American-made ETH DeFi. But we're not doing ETH because, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. Arbitrum, multiple announcements down here on the bottom, right? Super guys in Patreon have been into that. You know, and there's a lot of other coins here that, Chainlink is in that new portfolio that I put out. Like, where do I start? Chainlink's one of those coins. If you want to know if your coin is in that list, I know T-Bone's going to be happy. If you want to know what coins are in that list, you definitely want to check that out because it never hurts to know where other people or you would want to begin or begin again. Now, let's talk about the concept of alt season. So, every time I'm on the YouTube member podcast and, my co-host Tobie offer of the new roadmap in crypto and AI called Digital Dominion. We'll talk about that later. But I'm really not allowed to say alt season on the podcast, right? Really not, because she thinks things are going to move in sectors. All right. So naturally, today looks like alt season, so everyone will talk about it, and I'm not opposed to talking about it. But everyone's forgetting about layer one season. You had Bitcoin Cash lead Bitcoin. You did. Bitcoin Cash was going up way before Bitcoin exploded. You had Sui going vertical way before Solana and ETH went. And again, XRP, in my mind, was led by Stellar, right? These boomer cryptos that benefit from Crypto Week. Hedera, Algorand. The small stuff leads, the big stuff follows. That's as old as the hill, right? That's as old as the hill. And somebody, WWJD, says, don't forget, Soul Seeker phone may come with bonk airdrops. Zen Trader asking about Compound. Yes, dude. DeFi, man. The banks are coming. Dude, Uniswap was moving before Ethereum. People are not taking this seriously. I mean, they're looking at it, but that's the thing. They're looking, but they're not putting. Right? They're not out there going, oh yeah, I'm actively getting involved in this. I mean, if you have a bag, you're looking at the screen and you're like, okay, that's great. But can you make your bag bigger? Or if you just got here, what do I do? Is it too late? The answer is no. The answer is absolutely not. Right? Because you can get on the YouTube member area and get 6, not more than 6. You can get 10 small cap ideas on one podcast. Plus ask questions. And then we got lists and reports and Patreon Platinum. It's preferred medium. And don't forget me shouting into the microphone. Don't forget that. Okay, Vancouver Island is here. Welcome. Welcome, sir. Wrong again. Caminilla, a member. GF, Felix. Grant Shepard, where are you? Bro, I am right here. I am right here. Blazing this microphone. Live it, 131. What's going on? Caroline Storyteller, a member for 6 months from New Zealand at 4 o'clock in the morning. Welcome. Patriot Caveman, Legend the DJ, Hot Mess Express, CD, ETH moving. Yes, the greatest. XRP broke $3. Indie Rock Crypto, Bull Runner, DC Precise, JB, a member from California. Driftless Crypto, a member. Welcome. Gion. Welcome to the show. Charlie the Positive Cat from the Antivirus universe. We will be vindicated. Right? We will be vindicated. WWJG, Mojo, Silos. Do you like the ETH treasury companies? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're in the imitator phase. And I think once you have a meme coin treasury company, maybe it'll be stupid. I don't think there's the innovator, Sailor, the imitator, the treasury companies, Metaplanet, and then there are the idiots. I don't think and we're not at the idiot phase yet in treasury companies. We're not at the idiot phase until they start taking over like 3 or 4 miners or the treasury companies start going public, right? That can be a sign. Wow, we got a lot of people here. Ariana, by the way, if you want priority on comments, right, or requests, please become a member. You can get $4.99 gets you emojis. $49 gets you Tobie Ward. And don't forget about this book. Don't forget, if you need to know about crypto, you want to know where crypto and AI are going. You want to know what 2050 looks like? How about this? How about hackers versus hedge funds? What would happen if you gave Ray Dalio artificial superintelligence? Here's a hint. Nothing good. And we got 3 female heroes in this book. Not the kind of female heroes you see on Netflix and all this sort of agenda-based characters. Real heroes versus hedge funds. The link is in the description down below where you can buy the hard copy and the e-copy. I'll go through that later. It's summer. Read something fun. Learn something while you're having fun. It's not a textbook. It's a thriller. It's a thriller. Just like our Patreon Platinum area. Hal Lopez, what's up? Routine Cheese. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Okay, I'm going to TA because I can't control myself. It's altcoin overtime. All right. Let's see. Wow. Look at this marvel. Bonk.fun. Yep. Getting to its LuxAlgo premium zone, waving its hand in the air like it just doesn't care. And there is a very good point to this chart. See this formation? And we see this everywhere. Cup and handle, downward sloping wedges. It's like, suppression, trying to push that basketball underneath the water. And what happens when it pops out of the water? Boom. This is the perfect example. Downward sloping wedge, suppression, gradually, then suddenly. No better case that actually took profits today was Pengu. Cup and handle. What was a leader for Solana? What was a leader for Bonk? Pengu. Now, Pengu is not a small coin at $2 billion, but it's highly speculative. The speculative coins led the way out. Now, this is where I fully and completely explain to you that this is not over, that this could just be starting, and that this could potentially be spectacular, particularly if big boy Bitcoin, I don't know. I don't know what the case is to have Bitcoin through 120 at this point, given how suppressed altcoins are. So let me get this straight. You're going to tell me that this is over. Total altcoin market cap, or total 3. So that is total market cap minus Bitcoin minus Ethereum, is only up 2.5% today. Ooh. You can get a 2.5% move in UPS or Walmart in the stock market and be like, oh, wow, that's a big move, 2.5%. This is nothing. Are you kidding me? Look at how this thing went down. It went straight down. So you have your breakout from your little formation, just like Bonk. You have LuxAlgo inserting all this support underneath. And to drive this point home, because I swear to God, if this doesn't drive it home, you have a head and shoulders bottom. In English, that's 3 attempts to take a market lower. When it doesn't work, the shorts scramble. You travel the distance between the head and the neckline from the point of the breakout. So altcoins may pause at $1 trillion, and I have made the mistake of getting too bullish altcoins after a rally. But if you have a compelling case for ETH, Solana, and XRP, and you break out above this special type of neckline and keep going, that's the key. Then you could add $250 billion to total altcoin market cap like that. Because what's $250 billion between friends when NVIDIA is worth more than everything? NVIDIA eats the world. NVIDIA eats the world, and altcoin market cap can't go up $250 billion, really. Is that so? And just in case you think you don't need crypto as an asset class, on a FOMO day, here's a guy that crossed Uncle Sugar, who was a pioneer in Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, living in Spain, trying to, not wind up in prison because he crossed a 3-letter agency. Tornado Cash guys, the programmers, on trial in New York. An antivirus, my favorite privacy play that just introduced very similar functionality where you can keep your position private, currently sits at a $4.18 million market cap. And guess what, people? We can wait for people to figure this out. We really can. All right, Ethereum. Now, just to drive more points home. So today's a big update for Ethereum versus Bitcoin, right? Oh my God, it's huge. Ethereum versus Bitcoin is exploding. Yeah, okay, dude. Does this look like an explosion on a monthly chart? It doesn't, does it? This looks like this could go on for months. Could go on for months. You could have Bitcoin hanging around 120, and you could have Ethereum just go right to 4,000. Someone's going to tell me why that can't happen. All right, so here's some even better news. So Ethereum is making its 9 top today. which means you will probably get some type of dip. Now, if you don't, forget it. It's going up for 2 straight weeks, but you should get a pause or a dip. So if you need to like evaluate, you can do so. That's good. It's great, in fact. Now, one of the things that you need to also remember about Ethereum is that you have a monthly 13 bottom. So I've been noticing this and noting it for 2 months, that this is the mirror opposite of what you had over here before FTX, before the famous get to the chopper edict was delivered. Get out, get out, get out, get out. And they squeezed everybody out hard. They made this look wonderful. People thought Bitcoin was, oh, it's going to explode. Here we go. No. 3 months straight down. Okay. Here we go. 13 bottom. It's the same type of signal from the DeMark work. You have 1 up month. You have 2 up months. You're going to have a 3rd up month. You are. You're going to have July, which is not over yet. And then you're going to have August. And check this out. This special point, right, that DeMark draws, like the DeMark system draws these dotted lines based on the quantitative math from, the calculations, the numbers, right? This number is at 3,900. So I know we're a long way from a monthly close, but, we got a monthly level at 3,900 in ETH, and we have a monthly level at 3,900 in Solana. What happens if we take that out? What happens if we take it out? This is the question that people are not asking themselves about charts, right? Really, I used to say this a long time ago. Really good technical analysis explains and reveals the nature of the price action. What is the nature of the price action? The nature of the price action is suppressed sectors and coins are waking up. Leadership coins have been sending clear messages that most have been ignoring. And resistance is futile. Meaning, everyone's like, wow, there's resistance. Wow, I can't buy it. Remember the 200-day moving average? that was everybody's excuse not to buy it 10% ago. Oh, wow, it's the 200-day moving average. I better wait for a breakout. I better wait for confirmation. Okay, bro, well, here's your confirmation. What do you want to do? A lot of times, you don't want to indiscriminately FOMO because you don't. I don't think you have to. I think we're still in the gradually phase, right? But, you get any type of a dip, like say Bitcoin goes to 120 and everyone takes profits and this thing pulls back or sits, you're going to get a shot. And of course, you should take it. That's the most important thing to remember. You should take it. Okay, bringing the screen share back for XRP. So we talked about XRP on a daily chart. Now let's talk about XRP tactical. Okay. So we are proceeding on our way to 329. One thing that I think is really interesting about 329 is that that's where you would go if you were in like kind of a blow off top phase. So if there is an approach of 329, it should be epic and emotional. Now that could send it through 329, but notice that they're afraid of it, right? They're like, it's like a 4-hour chart. It's like, oh, whoops. Okay, it went up. Oh, let's sell. Every time XRP goes up, everyone's like, okay, let's sell. Let's take our money. $3 out. Wrong. If there's an approach of 329, it's going to look and feel like a blow off top. What is the nature of the price action? Bitcoin weekly. So this dotted line is no longer resistance because it's not here anymore. And by the way, here's the real kicker about Bitcoin, which is honestly the scariest thing about this market and why you have to pay attention to dips and now sideways days. Did you realize that this signal, this 4 up here, means that this was the dip week in Bitcoin? Even though it went to 124, when it went to 116, that was the dip. And that was in the day trading plan that I believe I gave to the Patreon free group. So there's content going all around the Patreon universe. And of course, Tobie told you this a long time ago. It's going to 120, and then it's going to consolidate. And it'll come off, which is exactly what happened. But this was the dip. This was the dip. So what times would you, what do you do when you get a pause? You got to get involved, right? You can't sit around. You can't sit around because, again, you got lucky. People were asking me 2 days ago, where's the dip? Bro, you got one yesterday in Bitcoin. You got one. Most altcoins didn't participate in that dip. They didn't participate. Okay, moving back over to LuxAlgo for more intense altcoin overtime that just cannot be missed. By the way, I'm trying to get to 200 likes on the stream. So for knocking out all this altcoin overtime, you know, maybe we could smash the like button. What do you think about that? Crypto equities. Oh, God. Somebody was asking me to cover crypto equities, and I'm like, oh, my God, I can't wait. You know, that whole speech I had about all these characters underweight. Oh, my God. Look at this. Wolf. And I'm not familiar with the fundamental story behind all these companies. But what I do know is the rising tide lifts all boats. And this is some kind of accumulation cone. In equities, they call it a bear flag. But in crypto, this is like the prelude to a breakout. And again, it hasn't even gotten past equilibrium. BTBT. I know we talked about this. This was like, this is textbook, right? They take it up. I think these guys went from Bitcoin to Ethereum, I think. Drop the market right into LuxAlgo support. See that little green candlestick right there, right? They want to sell, 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 sell. Bulls meet them right there. Can't be the only one looking at this. And then boom, it's gone, right? You get the dip, you take advantage. You miss this, don't worry. There'll be another one. Oh, my God. Galaxy Digital. So this is the premier crypto hedge fund that had the misfortune of going public at the same time as Circle. So this is like MicroStrategy. I mean, they are one of the top holders of Bitcoin. They are the Goldman Sachs of crypto. Literally, if you want to get something done in crypto, you go to Galaxy. And what's amazing about Galaxy is that you had this like channel, and then you broke down through the channel and made everybody think it was terrible. Oh my God, no one's ever going to touch this thing again. Oh my God. We have a $184 super chat in an unknown currency from Alpha Cry. Floki is ripping. That's because once they get back inside this channel, Galaxy is just going to go. And then, of course, there's memes. We were doing memes. We have this way of doing memes. I'm not even going to tell you what it is. We have a secret way of doing it's literally, it's where this whole thing started. It's where Unhinged Crypto started. Meme coin showdown. Floki was not in it yesterday, but we were looking at Brett. We were looking at the turtle coins. I want to say Floki has like a debit card, don't they? They have a debit card. And this, frankly, is the same type of thing that I've been talking about where you have this grinding up move. Right. Trending number 2 on DEX tools. Up 30%. Now, here's what's unbelievable about Floki. First of all, if Floki can do this, so can the whole rest of the market. And the other thing about Floki is, well, you know, it's up 30%. So, you know, I'm not sure you want to buy it today. But, like, does this look like a 30% rally to you? Does it? It doesn't look like anything if you look at the chart. It doesn't look like anything. I mean, if it looks like something, it could be a giant reclaim. Right? Like Floki had all these points from April and August of 24, from November of last year. And look at what they did to it, man. Look at what they did. Like if you were a Floki holder, how would you feel about this? 6 months of, I mean, look, it was down here on June 22nd. No one wanted it. No one wanted it. It's like, hey, get me out. Look at this. Straight down. On a geopolitical event that's been over. They're trying to restart it, but it's over. The climactic headlines are gone. Meanwhile, back at the physics ranch, and again, another classic lesson, because I'm only on the air once a day. We're all over, like I said, Platinum, VIP, podcast, and Patreon. I mean, we're on there. Speed, magnitude, and direction. What goes down one way goes back up the exact same way. So, yeah, 33%, that's robust. But how many more plays like this are out there? How many more? I mean, Floki and Bonk are telling you something. Just like Arbitrum was telling you something, just like Aave was telling you something, just like Bitcoin Cash, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Bro, it's happening. It is absolutely happening. Like, where's Pepe? Where's an ETH-based meme coin? Like every YouTube headline today is like, oh my God, Ethereum is back. Emergency, Ethereum holders. Look at Pepe doing the whole cup and handle thing, just like Pengu. Where's that going? Where's it going? The GAN model flagged. First, the Solana 7 in the Patreon store, I had to leave it in the store. I had to leave it in the store because I generated it before, I formed the Platinum area. So I left it in the store, but as a special hookup for Crypto Week, I made the Solana 7 report $17 because I'm sure the people who bought it for $49 have made quite the sum of money because Bonk was in there, and this report is like 1 month old and still valid. 7 coins in the Solana universe, $17. And if you look at all these $39 reports, if you subscribe to Platinum, you get all of them for one monthly price. And I'm putting stuff in there like it's my job because it is. But if 17 US, it's more if you buy it on your phone. It's 17 if you buy it on a browser. You get the point. You get the point. You don't got research? No problem. Well, no, actually, if you don't got our research, no problem. We would prefer you did. But you better get some research. You better get something. Because this thing is absolutely, it just started to turn. So like my old employer had news out on that. Like, hey, our model just beeped. Dude, he's not the only model. There are like commodity trading advisor funds that can go after futures and ETFs. Remember, you got XRP futures now. Everyone thinks that's a joke. A commodity trading advisor is the oldest form of a hedge fund. They can come in after XRP via the futures contract. Anything that starts moving up, quant funds love that. They like to buy high to sell higher. Buy high to sell higher. Okay? I mean, thank you for the big super chat. I hope Floki goes to the moon. And I have said this. Open the casino. How many stories are we going to hear about these kids, right? Like stay-at-home kids, like stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home kids. No job, no trade. AI job displacement, wiping out like entry-level college jobs. What are these kids going to do? I know what they're going to do. They're going to read Digital Dominion. You don't need a finance textbook anymore. You don't. You need this for $25. It just shows you what the future is. I read this book twice. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so bullish. I can't control myself. This is the website where Tobie has all kinds of cool videos. You can read the first 4 chapters for free over here. The woman's just showing off now. It's just showing off. And there's a link at the bottom where you can get the $25 first edition glossy paperback copy of The Future. Good luck finding a course in That's not even a course. Good luck finding anything that will tell you about the future, honestly. Hackers, McAfee's daughters versus Ray Dalio. Yeah. I can't emphasize it enough. If you FOMO'd into something, FOMO into that. One final word. This is important. So this is the rumor that the orange man is done with Powell. Now, in the event that this happens, if you stay tuned, you get this valuable information. No, Big Rich, you're not late, man. You're never too late. You're never too early. You're right on time. By the way, the Patreon group has guys that are so sophisticated. It's like I got a junior analyst staff in there in the chats. Mind-blowing. Guys talking about DCAing. I think Big Rich bought the low in Tau at like 177. There are a couple guys in there who are great. Now, in the event that the orange man does get Powell, the first trip down will be a freak out in legacy. They'll claim that the Fed is not independent. The orange man's taking over. Oh, my God. The Fed is not independent. They're not. They have a political view. They help certain administrations. They do more for others. They do more for certain administrations than others. This whole thing about leaving rates at 4%. Yes, he didn't want to be the guy that let inflation out of the bag twice, because that has happened before. But if the United States, if the optics on the United States get worse, the first trade will be down, and then crypto goes up indiscriminately, because that's going to we need a new financial system, which again, no one is paying attention to. No one, right? The real world assets. Remember that was, real world assets. Oh my God. No, nothing. Not a word. Not a word. HitDex. Not familiar with what HitDex is. Okay, not familiar with that. Feel free to drop the contract address. Okay, here it comes from literally the smartest producer in the history of YouTube, the Eagle King. If you like the Eagle King, type a 1 in the chat and give the man some love. Does this have a $400,000 market cap? Okay. What is it? Oh my God. Listen, we haven't even talked about this. I'm pulling this up here now. $400,000 market cap. And what's the key word here? Multi-chain. Multi-chain. The cross-chain narrative. Polkadot. It used to be Rune. Okay. The next thing I'm going to figure out is cross-chain. And I know that the Patreon Platinum model, the GAN model, has recommended a layer 0. The last time we had anything like this, and again, Rune had fundamental problems. I'm looking at it now. It's not a very exciting chart, but like here's Rune. Again, not investment advice at all, because they had problems. But once you have Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana and XRP going, the cross-chain model starts picking up. The DeFi trading across chain. Again, it used to be Rune, and who knows, maybe it will be again. Like, again, I gave you 2 explosive narratives that I have to, when we're done with this, I have to immediately go deep dive into it. If you have XRP, Solana, Bitcoin, and XRP moving at the same time, people are going to want to trade cross-chain. And then the meme coin thing is going to explode on Solana. It's going to explode because everybody's going to want to play again. Like, what do you think is going to happen when Bonk is up 10% or 20% rather, and then Solana has its first 10% update? Everyone thinks they missed it. I don't think this is even started. I don't think this even started. Okay. Check out Tobie's book. We have 3 different levels of research for all price points. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel because we will be live from the shorts feed. That's the market update for today. We will see you tomorrow.